Howdy, Americans. We're back for another story time episode. I do believe we're on episode 101. This one, I wish I could choreograph this better or reenact the crime, so to speak, at the location, but I can't. And I'm going to tell you why. Uh, my mother used to live in a real nice, gated community called Bonita Bay. Huge community. I mean, like a lot of dollars in that, community. And from front from the front guard shack to the back of the community where they're now still building some high rises is 3.2 miles. That's like a community, right? There's all these little sub communities within that Bonita Bay community. Then they have Bonita Bay has a lot of other uh, communities in different regions in Lee and Collier County, and a lot of money involved, a lot of money. But my mom used to have a really nice crib, and she lived right on the Imperial River. She was the fourth house in from the boat ramp. When you went into Bonita Bay, you would go to the second uh, intersection, bang a left, go down. There was like a public boat ramp for the community, and that did access Imperial River, which would lead to the Gulf of Mexico. And so I would often, uh, I really wish I could have diagrammed this, but my drawings pretty much look like terrible. But picture like a an H-shaped dock next to the boat ramp, and there was like boat slips, and then around like there was, but pretty much like where she lived was like on a lagoon, and the boat ramp was on this lagoon. It was kind of like teardrop shaped, so to speak, and on the other side of the boat ramp there was some boat slips and um, stuff like that. I think they were called like transient boat slips, like seasonal. It wasn't like annual boats. I don't know. It's like that's what I was told. But so anyway, the I always had real good success fishing there. And what I would do is I had a pretty cool system set up, and I had like a beach chair type thing. Then I had like a little like a like a cooler, like not a little cooler, but like a big cooler for the fish. Had a small cooler for my cold adult beverages, and then then I would just they if they're the railing there that they had, it was almost like a post. And I don't know how to describe this, like where it's comprehensible, but it's almost like a post and rail type fence, but there were flat boards, not the round type boards like on a post and rail fence. And at the end, picture this: like at the end, there would be a vertical post, and then the boards would stick out like 6 inches or whatever. So what I did when I was fishing on this particular day, I was sitting in the chair, kind of like I am right now. But I don't think I can visualize this because it's tight quarters. But basically, I had my foot up against the end of the open rail, and I had the fishing rod that I threw out with the bait, which was shrimp. I threw that out, and it was just usually it was like outstanding fishing there. You were always catching snapper and all kinds of fish, right? So this one particular day, the fishing was just terrible. So I'll never forget this. This is funny as heck. This is like a true story too. It's what really cracked me up was like, oh my gosh, this is only in my life could something like this happen to me. But the I get moving around a little bit, and the the fabric of what that folding chair was made of basically splits. It's like dry rotted, splits. The SM, basically now I have nothing to sit on. So what I do is I, adapt, improvise, and try and overcome. So now I slide that big igloo cooler that was, supposed to be intended for fish or what have you, and possibly a cold beverage or two. I can't remember if I had two coolers or just the one cooler, but the so now I'm sitting on the cooler and I'm out there forever, and I'm like, I'm moving the shrimp, and just nothing is working right for me this particular day, which usually was a pretty hot spot. So, like I tell you, I got my foot up. Here's the rails. I got my foot up here, trying to prevent the open end in case I did get a hit, from the fish stealing my rod and reel. You probably can surmise what's coming up. So I kid you not, I was probably out there for like 2 hours and nothing, not a nibble, nothing. So I take my foot down off of the rails to the decking, and I'm situated on both feet now. Now I stand up from off the cooler. I lift the hinged cooler up, reach in to grab an adult beverage, and then right when I do that, pew! Something like a dolphin. I don't know what the heck it was. Took my rod and reel quicker than, and I couldn't do it. And like for a quick instance, I mean, it happens. When I say it wasn't just like a slide off, it was like a torpedo. So it was whatever it was. I first instance I thought about jumping in, but I had one of the old cell phones, and I knew like, I was so mad because that was pretty much a new rod and reel combo for me. And mind you, this is at least 15 years ago. Could have been 18 years ago when this happened. Probably closer to 18. And it was a rod. Oh shoot! Sorry. Hold on. I will screw something up during the video. Forgot to put that on airplane mode. And you really don't want to talk to my bill collector unless you do. Somebody wants to pay it, just holler yonder this way. And so anyway, there goes my new rod and reel. It's like an $85 rod and reel combo. So it's pretty nice. I can visualize it. I just can't remember the brand or whatever it was, but it was nice. I had, after that I had another combo like that, and they were pretty popular at that time. But anyway, so I felt like the village idiot because at that time I was working at a bait shop. I knew what the do's and don'ts are, and I had been trying to prevent the worst case scenario by having my foot up on the rail. But it was like the little fishies had binoculars, and they waited for me to take my foot off the rail and say, and they blew the whistle or sent the signal to go take G Money's rod and reel and just ruin his day. And I'll be damned. They sure did execute that plan to perfection. So I'm here to tell you the truth. You just got to really be careful when you're fishing. And, when you're fishing, you apparently you have a mission, but so do the fish. And they're wishing for you to make a major mistake. And on that particular day, I did. Peace out, folks. And remember, always know you're legal.